You've mentioned a broad range of seats that you picked up, and you've said several times that you're surprised about that. Can you tell us one seat last night where you were taken aback?
Well,
Didn't expect to?
look, I had gone into the seat at Smithfield on a number of occasions with Andy Rowan. We'd had a fantastic response, but never did I ever believe that we would, as a Liberal Party, through a great candidate like Andy Rowan, win the seat that Carl Scully represented in State Parliament. There is something there for all of those transport users who were let down over the dozen or so years that Carl Scully sat in Parliament, claiming to deliver great transport benefits for this city, but failing to do so. That's a victory for them when Andy Rowan gets up yesterday. Look, I think all of my colleagues, all of my front bench colleagues, feel that enormous sense of honour and trust that people have placed in us. It's exciting, but it is to some extent daunting. But we have the plans, we've got the people, we know we can fix the state, and we've now got the chance to demonstrate that to people across this state, particularly those people who in the past have either voted Labor, Independent or for minor parties.
Can you tell us what Christina said in the phone call last night?
Oh, look, it was a civil conversation. It was a gracious conversation. I reflected on the fact that whatever else had occurred during the campaign, whenever we met publicly, whenever we're in radio studios together, no matter how tense and how vigorous the debate, we always behave civilly, and I think that's one of the hallmarks of politics in this country. You know, we leave it to other places, both democracies and non-democracies, to do it in different ways, but we have a nice relaxed style here, and long may it last.
Darren, Western Sydney's given you a big vote of confidence here. How are you going to ensure that your Western Sydney MPs, particularly the new ones, have a strong enough voice in your cabinet?
Well, you know, I was the Shadow Minister for Western Sydney throughout this whole term. And that wasn't an accident, Sean. That was a recognition not just of the importance of Western Sydney to the state's economy, but also the importance of Western Sydney to the long-term political success of the Liberal and National parties wanting to get into office. So I won't have to be reminded. My heart and my future will always depend on success in Western Sydney, and I've now got a fantastic team of individuals around me. A fantastic team of individuals who'll do what Victor Dominello's done in Ryde and make sure that we can't ignore in the party room, in our party councils, in the parliament, the concerns of their area. Can I just reminded myself there, Victor. Victor Dominello, who's not part of this group because he's the other side of the Parramatta River, but it's not true. Victor is part of this group, but he's part of the group because it's a seat that we've previously won. But what's extraordinary is in 2007, the Liberal vote in Ryde was 40%. Victor got the biggest swing in a by-election, at least till Penrith, of more than 20%. And last night he got another 13%. The seat of Ryde has had a 36% increase in two-party preferred vote since the last election. And that's what's happened in all these seats because of the same thing. A Liberal Party determined to get out there and focus on people's needs. A Liberal Party putting in the field strong candidates like those you see around me. And as was demonstrated by Victor with that magnificent swing that he's got after 2.5 years, on top of the by-election swing, as demonstrated by Stuart Ayres, who hung on to the entirety of his swing after only 10 months in the job, in a seat that swang in his by-election to become safer than the seat of Vaucluse for the Liberal Party. What you've seen is that if the electorates are convinced that local Liberal members are representing them, if local Liberal members have got their interests at heart, are doing the job for them, they're prepared to back them. And that's why I'll never take Western Sydney for granted.
The prediction is
surprises in the
well, I imagine, David, that's one of the briefings we're going to get, but we've already said there will be a financial audit. We do want to check the state of finances in New South Wales, but we are not going to use that as an excuse not to deliver the promises we've made, and that's why at the start of the campaign we outlined those savings for which we were attacked repeatedly, particularly in this seat, by the Labor Party over the weeks of the campaign. The same old Labor Party. You know, if it's John Robertson It is exactly the same old Labor Party. It is exactly the factional operators, the people that have been making and unbreaking premiers in this state for too long until last night. Until last night when the public took back control of this state. And I subscribe to the Rodney Cavalier view of the Labor Party, that it's time that its members took back ownership of its party. It's time its members said to the unions, butt out, let us choose people again. Let's get back to the days when federally we saw good people like John Button, Michael Duffy and co actually get promotions, get jobs, get a chance in the Labor Party.
It's now predicted that you're going to be able to achieve a working majority in the upper house despite your scepticism during the campaign.
My scepticism with you and with Matt all along was you kept claiming I was going to get a majority.
Well,
and I noted, no, you kept refining it, so you both have a go. And I just point out that last night's results with 15% counted show we are not going to get a majority.
Well, the prediction, just the prediction now is that you are going to be able to achieve a working majority in the upper house. Do you acknowledge that? And if so, how are you going to use it?
Well, I don't acknowledge that, Sean, unless you can tell me, A, what the final makeup is going to be, and B, that members of those parties likely to be represented in the upper house are going to agree with me on individual or all issues. And I suspect you at least can't do the latter. We will seek to sit down to get our legislation through. But as I've made clear during the campaign, I am not going to sell out our mandate, sell out those people who have supported us, simply to trade votes with minority interests in the state's upper house.
Does that extend to, one, ethics classes, and two, to shooters in the national park?
Absolutely.
Who did you receive congratulations from last night, Mr. O'Farrell?
I've got 58 phone messages on my phone. Some of them have been glanced at, but because you won't leave me alone, I don't actually ever get a chance to respond to many of them.
In the upper house, once again, it looks like you won't be having to deal with the Greens. You called them dealing with the Federal until John Tahir. Well, is this a source of satisfaction for you?
No, but what will be a source of satisfaction is having the Greens, hopefully on this occasion, repent, acknowledge their past sins and omissions, and support the Liberal Nationals legislation that will restrict political donations in this state to individuals. What they should have done the first time, and who knows why people voted against them, it may well have been those devil deals they were doing.
Barry, are you relieved that despite the...
I've been saying that for 3 years.
Barry,
I'm glad people are finally listening.
Barry, are you relieved that despite the renewal and the landslide that Noreen Hay may hang on?
You just want me to say evil queen on TV. Look, no, everyone knows that I believe that Nick Lalich and Noreen Hay represent all that's bad about Labor. They all represent all that's bad about old Labor. And I think Nick Lalich's campaign demonstrates to the world, frankly, just how low old Labor will go. Noreen Hay, I expect to be beaten by Gordon Bradbury. Michelle Blitzfars ran a fantastic campaign. But I think you'll find at the end of the day that good has triumphed over evil, and the evil queen will be off the throne.
Have you heard from Julia Gillard?
No, but I read in the papers that I've apparently heard from Bob Brown, who I haven't heard from either. So,
Thanks, gang.
Thank you. We happy? All right. Can I buy you a coffee, guys? We haven't had coffee together before for at least a day or two.
He's off for coffee. That's